Alright there guys, welcome to another Fishing Adventures, and today we're back at the Railway Pond. Now if you've seen the other video before where I blanked, it was such a frustrating day all round, but today luckily for you guys I out fishing it. We're joining a local angler called Adam Stone. Okay, he's been fishing here for a little while now and he seems to have got the groove, he's got to grips with it. And that's awesome because it's such a small, natural little pond. We're going to join him today, see what happens. We're going to talk through his session and hopefully we're going to catch some fish. So here we are. Adam's been fishing for about 5 or 6 minutes now, not long at all, and he's already had about half a dozen roach out just fishing on this short line. He's just feeding little and often just to produce the bites and keep the fish coming, and just fishing a whip to hand. Yeah, so down here at the Railway Pond, it is a notoriously difficult pond to get right consistently, and that's the thing that Adam can do. I've noticed a while now he's been coming down, putting a decent weight together, a good few fish, and just building that weight. He seems to have unlocked its secrets really, and as I say, it is notoriously difficult, and it's not been fishing well for the past 5 or 6 weeks. And there we go, he's in again, and that's just fishing that short whip to hand, just fishing pinky. You know, and that's what it's all about. Is it just seems to be in tune with the pond, and on any given day he can come down and catch a few fish. So this is why I'm here today, to unlock his secrets really. And again, just feeding half a dozen or so pinkies, just popping in two lots. Oh, going for a third this time, and he's just going to swing that rig in. They're only fishing about 2 foot deep as well. It is very, very shallow in his peg. This side of the lake tends to be a bit shallower, whereas towards the other side it is deeper. It does get really, really deep towards the middle, up to like 17 foot deep as well. So it is a notoriously tricky water. And again, he's in again, and it's you know, if you can get one of them a chuck, it's a good day sport. I think you will agree. There we go. Again, another nice little roach, swung straight to hand. Another nice little stripey. They're certainly queuing up anyway now. So what baits are you using today then, Adam? What have you got with you in your side tray?
Well, I've got some micro pellets.
Yeah.
I've got some hen, and I've got 2 pints of pinkies, which is what I'm using at the moment. I'm feeding that. I'm using double pinky on the hook, and then I've got an array of hook baits. I've got 2 slices of bread, some mixed dead maggots, some sweet corn, some casters, and some bigger pinkies. Okie doke.
So a bit of a, gives you plenty of options then, doesn't it? If you have a bit of a lull in the action.
Yeah, it also means I can, you know, go on a better bait, a bigger bait, and try and get the bonus fish. It'd be non-selective, just using pinkies, catch everything in the swim really.
Yeah, excellent. And do you find pinkies seem to work best down here? Because I've noticed when I've been looking on your posts on Facebook, it always seems to be pinkies that do the business for you.
Yes, yeah.
Is it just one of those baits that gives you a massive amount of confidence, or do you know that the fish don't see them that often?
Well, I've given them a go a few times, and you know, every time I've used them I've done well.
Yeah.
Even on the hard days I've still caught on them. So it's more of a confidence thing.
Yeah. And that's it, isn't it? If you've got a certain method or a certain bait that gives you confidence, I sometimes feel that even before you've caught anything has still caught you 5 or 6 fish, because you're that confident it's going to work.
Yeah.
It just takes that pressure off, doesn't it, as well?
It does, yeah.
So there you go, folks. If you want to get some early fish out on the railway pond, if you're down here for a day, get on the pinkies. That is your insider information. So feeding wise, what are you putting in? It looks like about half a dozen.
Yeah, well,
every put-in.
I'm double, maybe treble feeding sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get them competing, just feeding plenty of bait. Not too much, just little and often. But just sort of 2 or 3 handfuls of bait.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of fish there.
Yeah. And that's it, I guess, as well, with the pinkies being smaller, the fish will eat a ton of them, won't they, before they get filled up. So
they'll eat more pinkies before they get filled up.
Yeah.
They'll eat maggots. So
yeah.
they're probably half the size of less of the maggots. The fish can eat an awful lot more of them, and you're feeding more of them, there's more quantity in the swim.
Yeah, but that's actually a really good point, because if you were feeding maggots, you'd probably be feeding 2 or 3 every put-in.
Yeah.
And you're not going to draw a big shoal of fish in, are you? So the pinkies, with them being smaller,
you can just feed a lot more of them.
It's going to bring a lot more in, isn't it, as well? They're going to get competing as well, like you say.
Yeah.
So there you go, another insider secret, guys. Giving all the tips out away now. So would you normally stay on this short line until the bite's dried up, or would you just give it an hour and then see a different line, or?
I'd probably give this one a rest. I'd probably fish it for about half an hour and then give it a rest, give the fish time to settle back down, and then congregate back on the swim.
Yeah.
And then come back to it later.
Yeah.
But I've got 4 lines today, so I can just keep alternating and.
Excellent. Yeah, just keep chopping and changing, and like you say, resting a swim is important as well. And would you keep trickling that feed into that swim as well? Yeah.
Keep the bait going all day.
Yeah.
Keep them competing. If you stop feeding, they will move away.
Yeah. There we go, another stripey. Thick and fast, eh?
Yeah, you'll generally find the better fish come later on.
Yeah.
Just as the, as you get out, keep catching these small fish, and then the bigger ones move in, or the bigger ones might bully out the small fish.
Yeah. There we go.
Better fish. It could be the case, the better ones are moving in.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it now. That float is shotted absolutely perfectly as well, so you can see that just any slight indication on there, it's it's definitely a bite.
I've got some bristle grease on, so it's just been suspended by that grease, so as soon as a fish sucks in that bait, float dips and gives me the indication.
Yeah.
So,
do you find that helps on this sort of venue as well? Because I sometimes come down and I see people, and they've still got half the pole body showing, and if they're fishing a waggler, they've got probably a centimetre of it sticking out of the water.
Yeah.
On a venue like this, with this sort of size of fish and how cagey they are, do you feel that it is better to get that float critically balanced?
Yeah, it's not so important with perch because they just give nice positive bites, but with everything else in here, it's definitely dotting that float down so you can see every little indication on it. It tells you what's happening in the swim as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you mentioned there, the bristle grease, it is so underused by a lot of anglers, but it can make the difference, because like you say, you can slightly overshot your float.
Yeah.
And that bristle grease will just give you that dimple, and as soon as a fish touches that hook bait, it's going to indicate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's a fish. That's another perch there, that took a lot longer.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely less in this one. slightly better fish.
Yeah.
Got 3 ounce that.
That's it, nicely done.
So that is a red. Now look to fling.
Excellent.
Is he a swinger? See.
Beautiful rod that.
It is.
Absolutely beautiful.
Ah, what is this?
Okay, so that is
very interesting.
that is ginormous. That's a massive mussel shell, isn't it?
Yes, that's absolutely huge.
I knew there was a few in here a few years ago.
Yeah. And this is the natural food we're talking about.
And that is it, isn't it? I mean, look at the size of that.
Beautiful.
That is huge.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's your souvenir from the day.
Yeah. I think I'll keep that.
Yeah,
It's a good luck charm, that is.
definitely.
It seems to be doing it no harm though.
No, it'll probably do it good, to be honest, I think.
There's another little perch.
And that's the thing as well, I've touched on other videos, sometimes doing something really simple like that, just changing your shotting pattern, will get you an extra 2 or 3 fish. And again, it's something that not many people think of doing, but again, it's generally the simple things will make the massive difference. Yeah, looks like there's something. Oh, unlucky.
Just get him off. Little perch, just at the back of that tree this time. Slightly better one. Not swinging a bigger one. Gonna have to take this brolly down. Nuisance. Needs a better one.
Yeah, those better fish are just starting to switch on a bit now, aren't they? Right then, folks, so we've come off that short line now because Adam's missed a couple of bites from the bigger fish and we were just a little bit worried in case he might have spooked off the whole shoal. So what he's going to do is he's going to rest that line and he's going to drop out onto the longer pole line right up in the middle of his swim, basically. So that's what we're going to do now, and he's going to see if those slightly better fish have backed off out into the slightly deeper water. And again, it's all about keeping your options open. Okay, and oh, straight into a bite then and missed it, unfortunately. But yeah, it's all about keeping your options open, especially on these natural venues. Okay, they can be notoriously tricky. But once you know how the pond reacts and how it fishes in general, you can build up a pattern really of what's going to happen. And that's exactly what Adam's done. He's used his venue knowledge and his peg knowledge to work out what's going to happen on the day. So that's it, that float's settling absolutely perfectly now. So hopefully those slightly bigger fish will have pushed out. And this is what he's going to drop in on now. There we are. Okay, so the fish it looks like the slightly better fish have moved out now, moved out into the deeper water, slightly away from that shallower line. And they may be feeling a little bit more confident now. So he's had a few, well, he's had one a chuck, to be perfectly fair, on that short line initially. So it was well worth starting on there. That was a very good decision. And there we go, he's in. And that's what it's all about, just keeping those options open and doing what is going to be best to get the fish out of each swim or each area of your swim on any given day. Oh, that's a lovely rod. And again, so he's fed twice, shipping that rig back out. He's just going to drop that and let it fall straight through that baited area. And again, we're just going to follow it down. He's got a strung out shotting pattern. so we can see where the fish are in that particular water column. There we go, he's in again straight away. As soon as that float settled, he's in, and that's it. So judging by that, the fish are clearly wanting it on the deck today. But again, with that strung out bulk pattern, he's keeping his options open and seeing where the fish are in the water column. And again, that doing simple things like that is the difference between catching and not catching on any specific day, really. And like I said earlier, Adam, he just seems to unlock the pond, really. When everyone else is seemingly struggling and not really stringing together any sort of bites, he's had pretty much one a chuck all session, and you can't really say fairer than that, to be honest. Excellent. And again, bagging up a fish a chuck, still with the same hook bait, same feeding pattern. You've unlocked your swim, you've unlocked your peg, haven't you? Let's just say, as always, makes me sick. So I'm gonna throw this out there after everyone's watched my blank in spectacular fashion. They're now watching you get a fish a chuck and bagging up. What do the viewers think should be part 3? Should we have a head-to-head match and we'll have some bragging rights, or what? What do you reckon? Leave a comment below, and if you're enjoying the video, give it a thumbs up as well. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join the fun. Get involved. There'll be a link in the description box to the Facebook page as well, so get involved on there. Come over and say hi, and if there's enough people commenting and the interest, we'll get a match organised. Me versus Adam on the railway pond, and I might even get a little trophy put together. That was a nice little lazy bite then as well, wasn't it? It was
slow.
Nice, slow, deliberate. Another little stripy bite, look at it.
So they're everywhere, these, but there's always going to be.
That's it, definitely. And again, they seem to be like a key feature of a lot of natural venues out there.
Yeah,
and if you can start stringing a few of them together, at least you're landing fish, and you're fishing and catching rather than just sat there. That big carp still swirling around those lilies, look.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's a laggy puller.
One of those hybrids.
Nice, and again, and that bite came literally just as the float was settling.
Yeah, I know. Look. Fairly sure. Bait on one line and then fish the other sort of thing. There's another one.
There we go.
That one's come straight to the top. Must be a skinner. Gonna do me. Right towards me. It is. It's a better skinner, that.
That's a nicer fish, isn't it? So it's obviously building up now. Those slightly better fish are coming in and enjoying the pinkies.
I'm going to put that straight away.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, he's off.
Oh, he's off. And just when I hooked that, just one topped over the long line. But he took that as soon as it went in the water.
That was it again. It was as soon as that float settled as well, didn't it? It was on it.
Back to the spin. There we are.
Yeah.
Straight away. Looks like they want to drop that.
It does actually, doesn't it? Oh dear. Awesome.
There we go. That's a fish on 3 of the lines now. Might only be small, but they certainly do trap the bigger ones, the smaller ones.
That's it then, so that's that right hand swim now, and that's exactly the same. Oh, there we go, straight away. There we go, straight away, and those perch are there again. So it just goes to show that if you're feeding, you can set those traps, and if one line does go quiet for whatever reason, you can drop into another, and you're pretty much guaranteed that there's going to be a fish there. Okay, and that's exactly what Adam's done. He's kept his options open, he's kept feeding his lines, rotating when needed, and just kept those fish coming. So what we need now then is that nice big fat bonus tench to come along and snaffle you up in them lilies just for a laugh.
I think that'll be a good end. That'll be a good end.
That would be the climatic, cinematic end, wouldn't it, that we need?
Well,
although having said that, it's been an absolutely cracking session so far.
Yeah.
I mean, literally a fish a chuck is all you can really ask for, and that's what it's all about, folks. Sometimes you can't really go to a venue and bag up, not on a natural venue, unless you know the water, unless you've been here on its toughest days and you've had some blanks and you've been on its best days and bagged up. It's not until you've done all that. You've got to put the hours in and the time to unlock a venue and learn its little quirks, learn what's going to work. Oh, there we go. In again. That's a better stamp of fish as well, isn't it, now, coming out of there. So yeah, again, so that long line straight in front and this right hand line seem to be holding the better fish for you.
that is a roach. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's a roach.
And now those roach have turned up. It's again, it's probably now a chance to empty the pond, so to speak.
Lower it down. Fishing coming up quite sharp. Well, straight away.
Absolutely, even those perches are slightly better stamp, aren't they, from that right hand side? So yeah, cracking job. There we go. Navigating round, that's a better fish, isn't it?
Yeah. And this is where the fish is getting out of there. And that just proves it.
And there we go, straight in on the double caster, and it was there waiting, that slightly better fish, ready to snaffle it up.
Yeah, it didn't take long, that's what I mean. It won't take long if there's a bigger fish there to catch it. And it's like a lovely roach. Yeah, that's a dog roach.
There we go, folks, that's how to do it.
Right then guys, so there we go, that is the Railway Pond fished, and to be honest it's been literally one a chuck all session. Adam has fished his socks off really, just using pinkies, a bait that I would never ever think of using down here, but it's given me a bit of food for thought, and I hope it's done the same for you guys as well, particularly on those natural venues. And as you saw then when he switched to caster for that put in on the right hand side, that quality roach came out, and the session will just get better and better from there. Okay, just feeding little and often, rotating your lines to keep the bites coming, to keep the fish coming out. It's just been a perfect session really. So a massive shout out to Adam for letting me come down and film in today. If you've liked the video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and we will catch you all later.